What is going on, you guys? I want to talk to you today about like hype level when comparing book releases to movie releases, and how I think it's kind of an interesting time right now to be a Star Wars fan. And maybe it's just my own personal biases, and so I'm actually curious to get some feedback from you guys. We are very close to Solo, a Star Wars story, coming out later on in May, but then also we're only, only just a around the corner from the release of Thrawn Alliances by Timothy Zahn, both of which have a couple of things in common. Both of which are kind of taking place in the past, or at least, different levels of the past. Solo is much farther in the past. And both of which are using characters that we're already familiar with. So, and I guess if you're following the story, we both know that the main characters come out okay in all of these, both this movie and this book. So, but as I look at it, a Star Wars movie coming out is a big deal. It's always been a big deal, but it's definitely a big deal. But I have such a small amount of hype for Solo, a Star Wars movie, whereas for this book, my hype level is way, way higher. Like, I'm incredibly excited for this book. Not just because it's Timothy Zahn, not just because it's Thrawn, but because of so many things about this book that, can play into futuristic, in the future, I guess the future direction of Star Wars, at least in this chapter of Thrawn. And we kind of already know at least part of the aftermath of this book, is because this book is taking place, in between, like in the middle of Rebels Season 4. So we know that, like, Rebels ends after this book is taking place, at least the meat of this book. There could be some more. There could be a prologue or an epilogue, rather, that, that go into some aftermath stuff as well. But you kind of have the same thing with Solo. Solo is taking place beforehand. And this is my problem with like prequel or backstories, is that people end up okay. Thrawn isn't going to get killed in this book. Han Solo is not going to get killed in the movie. Chewbacca is not going to get killed in the movie. Lando, my Mando, is not going to get killed in this movie. And then they like the other characters, like maybe new characters, like Woody Harrelson's character, Beckett, or, these other new characters potentially could, but you don't have a connection to them anyway. Like, nothing's been built up. Who even, would you even care if some of them, lose a hand, or, because of the famous, limb getting sliced off, or whatever, if they have some kind of, fulcrum shift where somebody betrays someone else and goes from being a hero to a villain in disguise, or any kind of aha storytelling moments are lost for any of the characters you care about, because you already know where Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, and Chewbacca end up. And so it's like, nothing is really going to, like, the stakes are very, very small. And maybe the snakes are very, very small too. I'm tired of these snakes on this plane, but I'm not going to swear because we're trying to keep it PG-13 here. So basically, and this is something that I kind of want feedback from you guys on, is like, do you feel similar? Is this just a me thing? Like, not really, like, does somebody have to have the potential to die for a movie to be more interesting for me? Like, I get more invested in a story when the stakes are really big. For example, let's say in Han Solo movie, the Empire is, threatening to use an early version of the Death Star super laser to blow up Corellia, and they have to try to stop them from doing it. Well, they're not going to blow up Corellia, because you've seen Episode 4, and you know that the first planet they blow up is Alderaan. So, like, there'd be no, when they're rushing to try to stop them, you wouldn't even be on the edge of your seat, because that's going to happen. A similar book I read once, I think it was Lords of the Sith, is all about Cham Syndulla, in the early days of the Empire, plotting this assassination attempt against Vader and the Emperor. And Cham Syndulla is plotting this assassination attempt, and with him and his crew. And so it was such a downer of a book. Now, some people really liked that book because there's some cool things that happen in the book, but I did not like that book very much, primarily because of the fact that so much the core of the whole story was this assassination attempt. Vader's gonna be fine, and so is the Emperor. They survive. So it's like, I don't care that Cham Syndulla is plotting an assassination attempt, because maybe have him plot an assassination attempt against some governor that we don't know the fate of. So now we're like, well, I wonder how this is going to end up. You can't just start a movie with where people obviously know most of what's going to happen. And that's another problem, too, is like the trailers for this movie. You don't see that many trailers for books. They did do an excerpt from this book, and they do those right. Then when they give you an excerpt from a book, and I covered that, so I'll put a link to that in the description below, or at the end of the video. But, they give you an excerpt from a book, and that's kind of just setting the scene, kind of introducing you to what you may see more of in this book. Whereas the trailers nowadays just give the whole movie away. Like, looking at the trailer for Solo: A Star Wars Story, or all of the trailers, you're gonna this. Boom, they're gonna do the Kessel Run. Han's gonna meet Chewie. They're gonna establish the life debt. Han's gonna meet Lando. So they're gonna gamble. They'll probably do a game where Han wins the Millennium Falcon from Lando. They're probably gonna cover everything you've ever heard about Han Solo. Han Solo is gonna start off. Emilia Clarke's character is somebody who knows Han from his past, and then they get separated from a while. Han goes and joins the Empire, leaves, it's not for him, he's a rebel or whatever, does some street chasing stuff, bumps into Emilia Clarke's character again, and it's like this reuniting, oh, we knew each other as children, and now I see you again, and blah, 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 and I'm going to also go on this adventure with you. Woody Harrelson's character, and and a couple of the other characters in this crew, he seems like he knew from when he was in the Empire. They all get together, they do a train heist. Something goes wrong in the train heist, and they have to get away and escape, and it's just like your typical Western, and I'm sure it'll be fun. And, again, I'm going to see it, so I'm not trying to sound negative. I'm just trying to be like, boy, it's like, couldn't they have, picked a better time frame, or I don't know. I mean, I've been complaining a lot about Solo. Some of the trailers do look interesting. I'm sure it's gonna, be shot well, and I'm sure it's supposed to be funny, so it's gonna have a lot of jokes. Have some aliens. There'll be fun stuff. There'll be some cool things that happen. And there may even be some, one or two really cool scenes where my big prediction is that, Chewbacca is going to do something really cool. You're going to see Chewbacca maybe rip somebody's arms off or do something, do something really cool. We haven't really seen Chewie embrace the beast. And maybe we'll see that. Maybe we'll see some really good Wookiee stuff. Maybe we'll get some more of Chewie's family. You saw a picture of another Wookiee in one of the trailers, probably Mala. But, there's just a whole lot of stuff that that they show you in this trailer that kind of removes, almost all of the spoilery, you're not going to walk in here and be like, oh, tell me this story. I can't wait to hear. You're going to be like, it's going to be like if you go see a musical that you've already seen 100 times, and you just, there's a new, a new road crew. I'm going to go see Les Mis, and let's see who's performing this time. Oh, Idina Menzel is here to perform. Let's go see it. You already know the story. You're just going to see the production, and that's cool. But it's a movie, and so I don't know. I like to go be surprised. I like to go be wowed, and I just really don't expect a lot of that to happen in Solo. Whereas Thrawn Alliances, I expect there'll be a lot of surprises. First off, Timothy Zahn's a phenomenal... I mean, I don't even have to tell you guys that. You guys know that already. But even if it wasn't a Zahn book, what's happening here, I really seems like what's going to happen in this book is going to have links to the future of some of the future Star Wars productions that they're coming up with. I have a feeling this is laying some of the groundwork for things that are going to happen in some of the maybe Rian Johnson's movies, or maybe Dan and Dave from Game of Thrones, the movies they're making, or even maybe one of the live action series that they're planning to make for the new streaming service. So this book is going to plant some seeds that are going to have impacts in the future, and so that is really exciting to me. So not only the fact that reading Thrawn content, reading Zahn writing Thrawn is just bliss. It's absolute bliss. But the fact that the things that are going to happen are really going to matter, even if Zahn's life isn't in danger in this book. Well, not really, because he's gonna make it. Vader's gonna make it. So the main two characters in this book are safe. But this is done in a way that it doesn't matter that they're safe. That's not what's interesting. Reading how they get out of it is going to be an absolute pleasure. but maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys more hyped for the movie, or are you guys more hyped for the book? Which one would you rank higher? Is this just a time where like Star Wars movies aren't as good as some of the Star Wars books, and not all of the books are really good? There's some really, really bad ones. I do have my top 10 book rankings too, which I'll link as well, because some of the books are just phenomenally good. But let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and there is still another round of the giveaway going on right now, so you can enter to win a gaming expansion of your choice, as well as, in the form of a Cool Stuff gift card. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.